Hello guys, welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm gonna show you how to create a table. But before that, we need to learn data types. I'm not going to cover all data types because they are not really necessary for creating every table, and it's gonna take 3-4 videos for me to cover all. I just want to introduce you important data types. Let's learn them together. And also don't forget to support me by hitting the like button and subscribing to my channel. A table in a relational database contains rows and columns. If you want to create a table in MySQL, you need two keywords. The first one is create, the second one is table, and then you need to choose a unique name for your table and then a set of parentheses. Inside parentheses, you need to have a name for your column and its data type. Here, the first column is registration number and its data type is char. The second column is name and its data type is varchar. And the third column is marks and its data type is decimal. In this video, I'm gonna show you these important data types you need to learn for creating a table in MySQL. If your data is a string or a text, you can choose char with a size n inside parentheses for your data type, which stands for character, and also it is known as fixed length string data type. It is going to store a fixed number of characters based on the size you define inside parentheses, regardless of the actual string length. What does that mean? Can you give us some examples? Sure, look at here. If you choose char with a size 5 for your data type, for this column, employee code, the first value here is A123 and it has 4 characters, but it is going to store as 5 characters. And it is going to store as A123 with 1 space. The second value here in this column is B3. It has 2 characters, but it is going to store as 5 characters and it is going to pad it with spaces. So it is not a good idea to use char for your data type if your data has different lengths. It is a good idea to use it when all your values have same lengths, like country abbreviations, like phone numbers, like zip codes. If you're going to use variable lengths data type, it's better to use varchar, which stands for variable characters, and also it is known as variable lengths string data type. And it is going to store only the actual characters of your entry value. For example, if you choose varchar with a size 10 for this column, customer names, the first value is Alice, which has 5 characters, and it is going to store as 5 characters, not 10 characters. The 10 here shows the maximum characters that each value of your data can have. But it is not going to waste your space. And if the space efficiency is important to you, when you have a data with variable lengths, it's better to choose varchar. And also, you can use it for addresses, for emails, and all data which has variable lengths. If you're going to use numbers as your data type, you have 3 options. You can choose int, decimal, or double. Int stands for integer, and we use it for whole numbers, like whole numbers, those you don't have fractions numbers or decimal point. When you have decimal point and you have a data after decimal and the precision is important to you, it's better to use decimal, like those exact calculations. But if rounding is fine, the rounding numbers is fine, you can use double instead of decimal. Look at these examples. For integer, like whole numbers, like 1, 23, 500, or whatever. When you don't have decimal point or fraction of numbers, you can use int as your data type. For decimal, we have m and d inside parentheses. M shows the maximum digits that you can have as valid value, and d shows the maximum digits after decimal point. Here we can see that we use decimal data type for exact calculations like money transactions, like salary or interest rate, the exact amount you need to pay monthly. And if a little bit rounding is fine, then you can use double instead of decimal. Look at here. We have an example like 4.367891. You can round it to 4.37. If rounding is fine, then instead of decimal, you can use double. And also, if you have date time data type, you can choose your data type as date, date time, or time. For date, you're going to store like those information like birthdays, hire dates, order dates, and you need to follow this format: year, months, and date. For date time, when both date and time is important to you, like timestamps, event logs, booking days, then you can use date time as your data type, and you need to follow this format. And for time, when the time is important, like flight duration, like a specific time of day, like storing duration, you can use this format: hour, minutes, and seconds. All right, guys, these are the important data types you need to learn for creating a table. Let's learn how we can create a table in MySQL Workbench. Click on local instance to connect your SQL server. Here you go. It is your query window. You can type your queries and execute them here. But first of all, let's go to your schemas tab here. Click on refresh button here. You'll see two databases here, MyDB and SYS. MyDB is a database I created for myself, and SYS is internal database which MySQL uses. But it is in read-only mode. You cannot make any modification on it. If you want to create a table, before that you need to create your own database. You cannot use SYS database as your database, because it is in read-only mode. And if you want to create a table, you'll get an error. We cannot do that. You need to create your own database first, and then you can create a table, because database is like a container, and you can store your tables inside that container. If you have not watched my video about creating a table, I put the link on the top right of the screen. You can click on it and watch my video first about creating a database, and you need to create your own database and then set it as default schemas. And then after that, come here to see the rest of video about creating a table and working with columns. Okay, let's create our table here. If you want to create a table, you need keywords create, and then table, and then a name for your table. How about employees? And also after that, you need to add a set of parentheses and semicolon and the end of your statement showing your statement is complete. Inside parentheses, you need to list your columns. Choose a name for that, like employee ID, and then in front of that you need to set its data type. As it's all about the whole numbers, I'm gonna choose int for employee ID as its data type, and after that comma. To separate columns from each other, we need to add comma after each column. And next column would be first name and its data type. It is all about the string data. we have a data with variable lengths. So I'm going to choose varchar here. And I think the 50 characters is fine. And then comma to separate this column from the next one. And the next column is last name. And I think the data type is the same as first name. We are going to deal with the string data with variable lengths. I'm going to choose 50 here also. And then how about the hourly payment? This is all about the dollars and cents, and the exact amount is important. And it's important how much you'll get per hour. I'm going to choose decimal here with 5, and the precision is 2. 5 shows the total digits before or after decimal point, and the 2 is precision and shows the all digits after decimal point. We can imagine you'll get 999.99 per hour. And how about the hire date? It's all about date, not time, or date and time together. So I'm just put date here as its data type. If I execute this statement, we'll see the action was successful. And if we go to schemas and click on the refresh button underneath table, you'll see employees table here. If we click on employee, and now here you can see all information about your employees, the columns and their data types here. Now, if you want to see all columns of your table, you can just type select asterisk, means all columns, from then the name of your table, employees, and then semicolon. Execute this statement. Now you can see all columns in your table: employee ID, first name, last name, hourly payment, hire date. If you want to see the specific column, you can just type that name of column instead of asterisks. Like if you want to see last name column and execute this one, you only see here the last name column. Instead of seeing all columns, you can only see the last name, the column you want to see. Okay, now if you want to change the name of your table, you can do that easily by these keywords. You can type rename table and the name of your table, employees, and your new name. You need to type first 2 and then your new name, workers, like workers, and semicolon. If you execute this statement and go to schemas here, click on the refresh button underneath table, you see instead of employees, you'll see the workers here. We changed the name of employees to workers. Now I'm gonna change it again to its previous name. So workers to employees. And now if I execute this statement, and if I go to schemas and click on refresh button underneath table, I see it employees again. I changed the name of my table. Now, if you want to drop your table, you can just type drop table and the name of your table and semicolon. If I execute this statement, I'm gonna drop my table employees, but I'm not going to do that because I need my table. Yeah. Now, if you want to work with columns, how about adding a column to your table? Yeah, let's do that. If you want to add a column into your table, you can type alter table employees. You know, Because the column is part of a table, whatever you want to do on columns, you need to first type this command, alter table, and the name of your table. And after that, you can write your comment for whatever you want to do on your columns, because columns are parts of table. You need to first type this command, and then after that, you can go for whatever the changes you're going to do on your columns. I'm going to go to the next line for the rest of my statement. So I'm going to add a column, add column. How about email? Add column email, and you need to also set its data type. Actually, I think it's gonna be varchar. Varchar, how about 70 characters? And then semicolon. If I execute this statement, and now if I type select asterisk from the name of your table, employees, semicolon, and I execute it, you'll see we have another column here, email. We add just another column into our table. Now, if you want to rename your column, if you want to change the name of your column, you can do that easily by typing this command, alter table employees. I said that if you want to make any modification on your columns, first of all, you need to type alter table and the name of your table, because the column is part of the table. So we need to first type this command and then go for the rest. And then you want to rename column like email to, how about salary, semicolon. If I execute this statement, and if I again type select asterisk from the name of your table, semicolon. Now I see instead of email, we have salary here. So I changed the name of the column. But how about its data type? If you go here, click on the refresh button, underneath table, we have employees. And if you go down, you'll see the salary data type is varchar 70. It's not a good data type for salary. It should be decimal. So we need to change its data type. How we can do that? You can type alter table employees, and then you can type modify column salary, and then its new data type, it's gonna be decimal, which I guess maybe the 8 and 4 is fine for that, and semicolon. If I execute this statement, and now if I again see my table, select asterisk from table employees, execute this statement, and if it goes to schemas, refresh the bottom. Okay, now if I go down, I'll see now the salary data type is decimal with the 8 and 4. Now we have changed its data type. How about moving a column? We can change the position of salary from the end, maybe just after first name. Yeah, we can do that. Type alter table employees, and then you can type modify column salary, and its data type is decimal 8 and 4. Now you can type just after the name of your table that you are going to put salary after that, like first name. I just would like to put salary column after first name column. So semicolon, if I execute this statement, and if I type again the select asterisk from table employee, semicolon, now you can see the salary came after first name. We have changed the position of our column. And if you want to put the salary at the first, it's easy. You can just type again alter table employees modify column salary and its data type, which is decimal 8 and 4. You only need to type first. If you type first, it's going to be at the first of your columns. If I execute this statement and again type select asterisk from table employees, then I can see the salary is at the first of columns. Now, if you want to drop a column, you can easily do that by alter table employees drop column and the name of your column, like salary. I want to drop the salary and execute this statement. Now, if I see all columns in my table, select asterisk from table employees, semicolon, I'll see that I don't have any salary column here. Okay, guys, that was all about creating the tables and working with columns. In the next video, I'm going to show you how you can add rows into your tables.